Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to use your head as a proportionate measure when drawing a person. Alright, so let me move my camera down so you can see what I'm doing on the table. Here we go. Alright, now I am using a white piece of paper just because I feel like it shows up better in these recordings than my tan practice pieces of paper do. Okay, so, alright, I've got my paper. So the first thing I want to do is I want to start off with my head because my head is going to be my unit of measure, so I want to start off with my head. So here we go. Alright, so I'm going to start off with my head. Now remember, you are a person. You are not a cartoon. Alright, so I start off with the top of my head like this, and then I curve around. And I end up with kind of this shape, all right? So I've got the head of my person. Now, I'm going to use my head as a unit of measure. So I'm going to take my fingers, and I'm going to go from the top of my head to the chin, all right? Now, I use my fingernails to help me out. So I want to have at least 6 heads, okay, because I'm an adult, okay, and 5 to 8 heads, all right, so at least 6. So here's 1. The head you drew is 1, so there's 1. And then there's 2. And then there's 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, so I made little marks, all right, and I've got 6 of them because that makes it an even number, makes it easier, but you can do 7 if 7 will fit, but you want to get your feet on there too, okay? So now I need to start my person. So I'm going to start with my neck. So I'm going to move down my body, all right? My neck. Basically, my neck is a rectangle, okay? My neck is a rectangle, but I've kind of taken out the rectangle part of it, okay? I don't need to draw all the lines to see that rectangle, all right? There's my rectangle. Then I'm going to make this go out to show my shoulders. It's important that we don't forget that we have shoulders, okay? So I'm going to go out for my shoulders. All right, and then I'm going to curve this down. I'm not worried about arms right now. I'm going to curve this down. My upper body takes from the top of my head to where my legs separate is half. So there's 1, 2, 3. So the bottom of my upper body should be right here, all right? So we want the bottom of our upper body right there, okay? Because we want about half of it. So this would be where our legs separate at our body, okay? I'm not worried about arms. Arms are not important at this exact moment in time. I got to get my proportions. And my arms are based upon how long my body is. So I've got to get that finished. So down here is where my feet are going to be. So I'm going to bring my legs and I'm going to attach them up here, all right? And I'm going to bring them down to almost that 6th line, because remember my feet are going to be there. So I'm going to bring them down. All right. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm standing up, my legs are not exactly right touching each other, okay? There's usually a little bit of space because I'm standing in a relaxed position, okay? So there that is. Now, I did not take this line clear up here, even though it does go clear up here, because I have a tendency to draw clothes on my people as I go. So this is like the pants, or it could be changed into shorts, all right? So I've got my head to my feet, all right, or to my ankles actually. So from here, from the top of the head, oops, sorry, you can't see that. From the top of the head to right here should be half my body. If I put my feet, oops. I put my feet on it, we're right, okay? So, what else can I use besides my head? I could use my pencil, and I could go, okay, from the top of the middle to right here, whoop, and then I could use that as a unit of measure. I find it easy to use, oops, I shook the camera. Find it easier to use my left hand because it's there. Now, making it not move when you do things like this, that takes practice. But guess what? You're practicing. So there we go. All right. Now, I'm going to bring in my arms, okay? Now, I'm a full-grown person. I'm a rather short full-grown person, but I'm a full-grown person. All right? So my elbows do not hit way up here. All right? My elbows hit more around where my belly button is, which is above where my legs separate. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an oval to about where my belly button would be. All right? Then I'm going to connect these ovals, and my wrist, not my hand, but my wrist hits the upper part of my thigh. All right? So I'm going to bring my second part of my arm down here. Okay? Now, if making those two ovals is kind of hard for you, or even making the oval in general, I've noticed that some students over the years have difficulty with that. Just bring down a straight oval and make it in smaller, sketchy lines. I've even had students make just a longer, skinny rectangle and then curve it because, you know, we don't have corners. That works too. All right? So, now I've got my arms. Now I need to add my hands. My hands are just going to be ovals. Okay, notice they're ovals that are standing up. All right? They're not going, they're going nice and tall. Sorry, this pencil, this floor pencil I have is not have the best eraser on it. That's okay. All right? So there are my hands. Very simplified. Not a whole lot of details. My thumbs go on the inside because they're going to be touching my legs. Even in this video, you can see my thumbs point towards each other. Therefore, my thumbs should point towards each other in this drawing. Now, let's come down here and look at our feet. Okay? When you are standing like this, you do not see your ankles. All right? Especially right here where your legs are just straight. There's no turn. There's no twist in the body. All you see are the tops of your feet. You do not see the ankles. So, I'm just going to simplify it by making another oval, because I'll have shoes on here, and I'll add in more details later. All right? So, I have my person from my head to my foot. Again, measure. I use my fingernails to help me. If you don't have them, just try to be careful with your fingers that you're not adding a whole bunch because you're going smash and smash. Okay? It's easier to kind of turn your fingers and try to use your fingernails. So here's my person. Now, I will be checking yours just like that. Okay? From here, I'm ready to add some details for clothing. All right? So, I would want to erase out some of these details. Okay? Where the lines overlap, I want to erase it out. And like I said, this eraser is not the best. Okay? So, I'm going to add a collar for my shirt. That's the part that we stick our head through. Okay? Then I make it go up just a little bit and show that my shirt sits on top of my body. Okay? Do I have long sleeves or short sleeves? Well, that's up to you to decide. I usually have long sleeves on, so I'm going to come like this. And I'm going to extend it just a little bit because my sleeves are not skin tight, so I'm going to make those slightly bigger. Come over here. Extend it slightly. Okay, again, It's not skin tight. All right, if I had a better eraser, I would focus on erasing out a little bit more of the stuff that's going on. All right, so now I want to look at where my pants meet. All right, so we have a tendency to kind of have a little less at our waist. We have a tendency to kind of be tucked in there. All right, so we can kind of reduce that down. Now, I could leave this and say, hey, here's where my shirt is. But my shirts usually come down farther. So I'm going to give it a curved line. Why do I want a curved line? Because we're not flat. We have curves. All right, so giving it a curved line gives the idea that we are more of a cylinder shape and less of a flat rectangle shape, okay? So it gives it that more that we are a three-dimensional being than a flat being, okay? So curve, all right, sleeve, okay? For my pants, I usually wear pants, but maybe you want to be like, I got shorts on. Okay, so if you've got shorts on, then bring these, you know, how long are they? Bring them down, okay? Then what you would do is you would bring in your leg, okay? You'd have your knees, okay? You'd bring it down to your ankle, and you'd probably see more of the front of your shoe, which can be kind of hard to draw out. All right? So you could do that and show that you have shorts on, okay? Girls, if you wanted to show that they had a skirt on, you would do the same thing, but you would use both legs, okay? So if you wanted to show that they had a skirt on, just continue this way. Erase this shape here because we're not going to see it, okay? And then you would continue on. All right? For the face and the hair, well, here we go. So in the middle, we put our eyes. My eyes always look really weird when I draw them here because they're so small. So sometimes I just stick with a small circle and then I add the top of the eyelid because that's a lot easier than trying to draw the entire eye, and it doesn't look quite as creepy. Sometimes they look creepy when I get them drawn this small. All right, the bottom of the nose is, so then we're going to come down and we're going to get the nose. I use a little letter U for the center of my nose, and then I add on the nostrils with just other smaller letter U's, and I just kind of focus on the bottom of the nose. Okay, the mouth comes underneath that, so we kind of have this M-like shape right underneath our nose, and then our mouth goes like this, and then it comes like this. All right, pupils to dot our eyes makes it look just that much more realistic. Get some ears in there. Your ears go from your eyes to your nose. That's how long they are, okay? Your hairline comes up here, all right? Depending on what hairstyle you have, I'm much better at girl hairstyle than I am at boy hairstyle. All right, hair. All right, lots of hair because I'm used to drawing girl hair, okay? And then I could go and I could start adding some of the details for my clothing, all right? Background line to show that my person is standing, and then I would want to add in the different things that make this person in their environment. All right, if you are at home, I would suggest that you watch this video a couple times because it's not easy, and I would recommend watching it more than once. And I have another video that I will post, but it's kind of long, so this one is shorter. I'll post the other one, but it's long, okay? So this is a very basic intro as to how to draw a person, and I would highly recommend that you practice this more than once. probably more than 20.